Joining me on this broadcast, Prashant GS, spokesperson of the Karnataka BJP, Professor Chandan Gowda, professor at the Institute for Social and Economic Change from Bengaluru, joins us as well. I'd like to make it clear to our viewers that the Congress was invited to be a part of this discussion but declined to do so. Let me open this up by asking Professor Chandan Gowda. Sir, do you think what the minister said is okay to say in political discourse?
It's not okay to say for anyone to anyone. If you think about it, to say that I'm going to slap someone is something that is not something anybody can defend under any circumstances. And he did try to say it is a North Karnataka's dialect. If you want to give him a hearing on that, what he means is if someone is under a spell of somebody, they're refusing to see that their promise have not been delivered, you slap them and you wake them out of their stupor. That's what he's saying. I'm not defending what he's saying. Now, that said, if the discussion is to be about standards of political speech in public life, then I think that this is just a starting point. One will have to cast your net wide and examine more such examples and see how different parties might actually be invited to evolve a code of speech conduct, if you will, within themselves and between themselves.
Sure, we do hope that all the politicians are held by the same standard, and that's not something that we want to compromise on. But because this is a controversy, that's the latest one that we want to bring attention to, which is why we're talking about the Congress party. Many would say the fact that the Congress party was not willing to be on this panel is quite telling of what they feel about the comments that have been made by the minister. But Prashant GS, many believe that the defense that has come to the fore from this minister, where he says this is just a way of having conversation, it's a part of the dialect. When translated to Hindi or English, that's when it becomes worse. But in Kannada, it doesn't sound as bad as you make it sound. Is that argument or is that defense valid, do you think?
Poonam, firstly, it's become fashionable for the Congress to abuse PM Modi to stay relevant in today's politics. They have realized that people are giving them a grand 40 seats at max. And they will not even be a principal opposition party in Lok Sabha even this time. So to hide their failures from public, they are using PM Modi to say that, and once they abuse Modi, they know that they'll be in media and there's some traction. And if he is saying that it's North Karnataka dialect, he is insulting the North Karnataka people of saying that they always talk in objectionable language. Is he now saying that the entire North Karnataka people have to bow their head in shame, saying that this is how we speak? Definitely not. North Karnataka is a very integral part of Karnataka, and their culture is of utmost, top notch. So therefore, you cannot just bring it on par to say that, look, it is a dialect which I am using. Intentionally, Congress is using it right from 2007, Mahut Saudagar, to recently to Kharge calling him Kala Sam, and in between, Manishankar Iyer calling him Chaiwala, then Rahul Gandhi calling him Chaukidar, and the list can go on. It has become fashionable for the Congress to abuse Modi to stay relevant, and this is the what is the political discourse, how Congress is now turning it. And now it is not about which leader is talking. Congress is now using all platforms to attack even personally. Look what their India alliance partner Lalu Prasad Yadav had the audacity to talk. He even spoke about PM's mother in a very bad manner. So this depicts the mindset of the Congress and its leaders when they're not able to counter the development agenda of the BJP. They are resorting to personal vilification. This is probably political discourse at its lowest.
Sure, but like Professor Chandan Gowda was also pointing out that the BJP can't really claim high moral ground on this. There are comments like this that have come to the fore from the BJP side in the past as well, especially if we talk about someone like Sonia Gandhi.
And just this earlier today, Poonam, Dilip Ghosh, the BJP MP candidate in Calcutta, has said things about Mamata Banerjee. They have filed a complaint with the EC. So I don't think any party is clean on this matter, actually, if you think about it.
Sure, but as far as abusive slurs are concerned, unfortunately, that's a reality we see in political discourse. We'd like in an ideal world for that not to be the case, but that's one thing. And it's quite another to actually abuse the voter, to try and make a narrative where you want to punish the voter. Is the voter kosher if the voter votes for you, and if it votes for your political rivals, then perhaps some kind of punishment is required? Is that the kind of narrative we want in a democracy, Professor Gowda?
No, absolutely not. In fact, even on this count, Poonam, the number of politicians who have said, look, if you don't vote for us, forget about getting any help from us later on. How many, MPs and MLAs and ministers have said this across India? So voter intimidation and victimization is absolutely not acceptable. But you do hear it now and then. And this is why I said that, if you just focus on one person's offensive conduct, we'll miss the big picture. And right now, I think we should really need, all-round endorsement of certain standards of political speech making.
Certain standards need to be applied, Prashant. Yes.
See, when Professor Gowda talks about Dilip Ghosh's statement, he's forgetting if he was really apolitical, he should have first condemned the statement of Supriya Shrinate. He does not do this. This depicts the mindset of Congress and its supporters wherein to say that a highly objectionable post has been posted by Supriya Shrinate, and now the Congress and its supporters are not even talking about it. Instead, they're diverting the issue by talking something else. And now, here Shivaraj Tangadagi threatening the voters, which means imagine what happens even at the lower level. If Congress leaders are abusing voters, saying even if you chant Modi's name, we will slap you. Imagine what they would have done to the voter in the normal course when Congress has faced defeats in most elections. Which means probably voters are being threatened, saying if you don't do this or if you don't stand by us, you will not get basic facilities. Maybe water crisis in Bangalore, Congress MPs and Congress MLAs may be wanting to do that, saying if you don't vote for us, we will ensure that there is no water to you. We don't know. By the statement of one of the sitting ministers, now it is evident that Congress probably is trying to use this as their agenda or toolkit. Who's to answer for that? You can't threaten the voters.
Right, that's one line that cannot be crossed, and there have to be no two ways about it. But what is it, Prashant GS, that you now expect? You've already petitioned the Election Commission, is what we're given to understand. Unfortunately, there has been complete silence from the Congress ranks, even at the state level.
What more do you expect? Congress will never even accept it. The minister is on record saying that he doesn't even regret the statement. Instead, he is trying to give the justification saying that it is how a particular entire belt of Karnataka speaks. Definitely no. There are good people, hospitable people who come from who follow good culture and manners, and they don't endorse what Shivaraj Tangadagi speaks. So therefore, he is not only insulting and threatening the voters, but he is now insulting the entire one belt of Karnataka, saying that this is how we speak. It is completely atrocious to even for Congress to sit quiet. They should come out and condemn, saying, look, this is not what we stand for. But they don't do that. They always have protected leaders who have indulged in corruption, appeasement, communal politics. So even this type of slurs also, Congress is okay to let them go, because when it is coming from top down, right from Sonia Gandhi, Rahul Gandhi, Mallikarjun Kharge, when they use it, other leaders feel entitled, saying, if I abuse PM Modi, I will also be relevant. It's a question of being relevant. They're doing this, and people would give them the reply by giving more than 400 seats to BJP in the upcoming elections.
Sure, and relevant or not, the voters will decide. But is this something that the voters do decide on, Professor Gowda? Is this something that is on the voters' mind when they do go to cast their ballot?
This is the important question. If the minister is right or not in saying this is a certain way of speaking, we will never speak to the voters. Did the voters mind the fact that he said it like that? Right? I mean, not again to accept what he said. I'm saying there may be a certain way of speaking that appears crude in another context, but in that case, it may not have seemed very offensive. In fact, in the rank, if you have a list of offensive speeches, this may not rank very high if you think about it. The kind of things we have heard.
Now you want to rate them, is it? You want to rate the
no, chop your arms. We have heard all kinds of things. I don't
want but that does not make one thing right and the other wrong, just because in terms of relativity, one would seem much worse than the other.